Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Sonoma County Drought Update for Thursday, June 2nd. Thank you for joining us today. I'm David Rabbit, District 2 Supervisor, a member of the Sonoma Water Board of Directors, and Board Liaison to the Water Advisory Committee. Let's begin with a brief message from Sylvia Lemos from our communications team for our Spanish-speaking viewers. Sylvia? Thank you, Sylvia. We've had a series of town halls on drought in the recent past, and tonight is the first in a series of monthly town halls that Sonoma Water will be staging this summer and fall to give you the latest information on the drought and how it is impacting our county. So we're joined today by a panel of experts. We have Don Seymour, our Water Resources Manager for Sonoma Water, Jennifer Burke, the Director of Water, Santa Rosa Water, and a member of the Sonoma Marin Saving Water Partnership, Christopher Watt, the Senior Engineering Geologist with the North Coast Regional Water Board, and we are being aided by our county's communications team, including their manager, Paul Gullickson. We're here to give you an update on the drought in Sonoma County and the response by local and state agencies, share some practical information about the things that you can do to prevent our water shortage from becoming even worse, and provide you with some resources that will help city and rural residents alike address some of the problems that are being caused by this drought. At the end, we'll have made time to answer as many of your questions as we can. There are three ways that you can pose questions for our panelists. If you have joined us on Zoom, please type your question in the Q&A box down there at the bottom of the screen. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can type questions into the comments area below as well. Or you can email questions to our public affairs team at publicaffairs, one word, at sonoma-county.org. While tonight we are going to primarily focus on current conditions and tips on conservation to get through this third year of severe drought, I also want you to know longer-term drought management options are being discussed by water experts and professionals across four broad categories, which include increasing supply, reducing demand, improving operational efficiencies, and modifying policy and regulations to better address drought conditions. We all recognize the volatile weather patterns we are experiencing due to climate change, and we are working diligently to respond and adapt in an appropriate manner. At the end of the day, however, we still need rainfall to replenish the reservoirs, ponds, and aquifers. So with that, let's start with Don Seymour, our Water Resources Manager for Sonoma Water, for an update on the current water supply. Don?
Thank you, Director Rabbit, and good afternoon, everyone. Just give me a moment, and I have some slides I want to pull up before we get going. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty.
Okay.
Hang on.
I'm here now.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty sharing my screen.
Don, can you put it in presenter mode? It might help.
I'm trying to do that, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty.
Okay.
Goes blank every time I try to do that.
Try forwarding the slides anyway. No. Okay.
Is it in presenter? Can you see it in presenter mode, Paul?
Not right now. I can see this full screen, but it's blank right now. It's black.
Yeah, that's what mine's doing also. I might not be able. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see it here. And if you do that full screen, we can see those slides there.
Yeah, when I go to full screen, it disappears on my. Here, I'll try it one more time.
Just go from beginning. Do from beginning. Can you do that? You try that?
That's what I'm trying to do, and every time I do, it goes blank.
Try pushing the forward button. See if there's an extra slide in there.
Hey Don, could you stop sharing? I'll share it from my screen.
That would be great.
Para las personas que están en la línea de español, dispensen, pero estamos teniendo muchas dificultades técnicas. Primero estamos batallando para que entrara yo a la cita y luego ahora parece que estaban batallando con las pantallas. Vamos a probar un poquito de historia de fondo de la cuenca de agua que hay aquí del río Rusa, que suple a miles de personas en la región. Hay dos depósitos de agua que suplen las diferentes partes del condado. Protegen bastante el área de
significant recreational benefits. The operations of when the Army Corps is managing the reservoirs for flood control, or when Sonoma Water is managing for water supply, is dictated by storage levels in the reservoir. And then when I get to the next slide, it'll illustrate that a little bit more. For Lake
vamos a ver un poquito más de eso. Está colocado a un poquito más unas cuantas millas al norte de la ciudad de Ukiah. Cuando lleguemos a esa pantalla lo vamos a ver ahí. De noviembre a marzo ha tenido un suplido de agua máximo de
because the risk of large storm events has really has gone down during that time period. Lake Sonoma, which is located west of the city of Healdsburg, is the much larger of the two reservoirs.
El lago Sonoma, que está más al norte de Healdsburg, es el que provee más del agua en el área. Está probando bastante.
Next slide, please.
La siguiente pantalla.
And so, this
Entonces,
is a simplified cross-section of Lake Mendocino. It illustrates this variable water supply pool I was mentioning. That dashed gray line is the rule curve for the reservoir. And when the water storage level in the reservoir goes above that line, that's into the flood control pool, and the Army Corps of Engineers takes control and manages that water in accordance with their water control manual for flood control operations. When the water level in the reservoir is below that line in that blue shaded area, that's the water supply pool. And when the water level in the reservoir is there, Sonoma Water is in control of making releases to meet downstream demands and also minimum stream flow requirements. These minimum stream flow requirements are legal obligations that Sonoma Water is required to meet as terms and conditions of the permits. Bold black line is the observed storage since October last year to June of this year. Storage is at about 50,000 acre feet. And you can see it's well below what's authorized. The storage level is authorized to be stored in the reservoir. Please forward. And that blue line is the observed storage in 2021. If you look at the far right, where the line goes down to about 12,000, historically low levels that the reservoir dropped to
Están a niveles
October of last year.
muy bajos.
It only has gone down to that level once before, and that's in response to the 1977.
Cuando eso fue la respuesta a la
Actually, other than those 2 years, the reservoir never dropped below 30,000 acre feet.
utilización de agua nunca ha
Handful of
bajado más.
times has dropped below 30,000 acre
La
feet.
única
So
vez que ha
really
bajado
unprecedented
de
low
30,000
storage
pies
levels.
por acre.
Another thing I would point out is at this
La
time
otra
last year, Lake Mendocino was the
año
storage in the reservoir was declining.
el almacén de agua estaba bajo.
This year at this time,
Este año
we're
así,
seeing
estamos
actual increases, small increases in
Ah,
storage,
está-
about 100 acre feet a day. And
la agua
as a result of, number one, we still have some natural flow in the system, which is helping to meet
tema de
downstream demand and those
fluidez de
downstream
agua
flow
natural.
requirements I mentioned. But we're also seeing about twice the amount of Eel River water transferred to the Potter
Todo-
Valley
todo
project,
El agua de agua
hydroelectric project that's owned and operated by PG&E
autoeléctrica
in Lake County and Mendocino County. And that
mi
project
condado de
transfers Eel River water through a
quedado muy
basin tunnel to a
a un
powerhouse
túnel,
in Potter
a
Valley.
una especie de
Then water from once it passes the powerhouse
que está
is released to the
pasando,
East Branch
ya
Russian
que
River,
llega eso,
which is
se llega a la
located about
parte
14
del
miles upstream of
ruso,
Lake Mendocino.
que es como 14 millas
Really represented a very
a la baja.
significant water resource to
O
the
sea,
region.
es un poquito de agua que están llegando al río ruso.
And so I know there's a lot going on in this slide right now by adding all these different colored lines. But
Los
each
diferentes
one of those
salas.
lines represents
Cada uno
the storage in the reservoir for each year
al
since 2015.
almacenado
I think it really illustrates the variability we see in
que eso
storage, but
demuestra
it
la
also shows that we're at the very low end of
y también tenemos
almost a decade of
de una década de
hydrologic years
de
that these
agua
storage levels represent.
eléctrica que
It just
también
really
representa
shows how
que debería
low the reservoir is compared to
que tan bajo está la situación de agua, ¿verdad?
since the 2014 drought.
Desde
As a matter of
20
fact, that brown line that this year's storage level is about to intersect is 2014. Up until the historic drought we're in now was an event that was really very significant to the region.
Este evento que tuvimos en 2014 fue un evento bastante significante.
And I think this slide really puts into perspective just how significant the drought has impacted our reservoirs. That blue line again is observed storage in Mendocino
Agua que está
2019
el agua
this year, and the gray line above it is the
la línea de
average from 1992 to 2021. That's those same months, and it
todo
really
eso
goes to show what a deficit the reservoir has been and how it's declined, and
son de
really
agua
a significant amount of precipitation we're going to need over the next year or two to
la
restore the storage
participación
at the reservoir and get it back to a reliable water source.
a un
The
de agua
100,000 people that depend on it, the ecosystems that depend on it.
para que puedan depender en el
Please.
sistema ecológico,
This is a
¿verdad?
similar simplified cross section for Lake Sonoma. Probably
Todo
more
lago-
interest to people that might be listening right now. This is really the
el lago-
major, Lake Sonoma is really the major water source that
Sonoma es un
that
producto
Sonoma
tenemos
Water provide water supply to retail customers.
viendo para los
Again, you see that dashed line at the top. That's the curve of the reservoir. When the water level goes above that line, the Army Corps of Engineers takes control of the reservoir. However, when it's in that
caminos de
shaded area, Sonoma Water is controlling the releases against
agua.
minimum stream
Cuando baja para abajo, entonces es
downstream demand. That black bold line is the observed storage this year since the last October to June of this year. And again, you're seeing just this really large deficit of
hay una
storage could be. Right now, it's around 140,000 acre feet, yet we're authorized to be storing 245,000 acre feet.
por acre.
Next slide, please. And this blue line again is the storage
Estamos
last year at Lake Sonoma. And as you can see, we're almost at the exact same point where we were last year for storage.
Estábamos el año pasado.
Again, just a really large deficit showing
Yes,
just how low the reservoir is. And as a matter of fact, both this year and last year, the reservoir is at its lowest level since it filled
de agua.
at this time of year since it filled in the mid 80s. Next slide, please.
La siguiente pantalla.
And again, each of these colored lines represents different years of storage at Lake Sonoma since 2014. And again, it just represents the
Ahí eso representa
variability that we see depending on the
en la línea
frequencies, but again,
agua.
showing that we're at the bottom of these
Cada año
storage
estamos
levels, and it's definitely a very concerning as a water manager, and
todas las líneas de
looking at the reservoir that
pues están más
600,000
altas.
people rely
Cada
on
año
for their water supply. And next slide. And again, this is just a simple slide that was for Lake Mendocino. This one's for Lake Sonoma.
¿Cuál es la de Lago Mendoza?
Showing
Otra vez
storage blue line since fall of 2019
hasta
this year, and then the
hasta
30-year
abril.
average since 1992
El año de
2021.
es
Again,
la
showing this huge deficit that we're in.
es la diferencia.
That, like again, it's just going to take 1
va a
to 2, maybe 3 years of normal rainfall to
para
really
que
make this
pues,
deficit
tengamos bastante lluvia para que nos
have
otra vez arriba
reservoir storage.
o nos levante más para arriba en el promedio.
Next slide.
Nada.
And so,
Entonces,
address the ongoing drought and low storage levels
lo
in
que
Lake
está
Mendocino
pasando ahorita
and Lake
de
Sonoma.
usar
Sonoma Water and its retail customers are working closely together on a number of drought
agua de
initiatives.
Sonoma está afectando
Focus on Sonoma Water's actions managing the Russian River system.
el
Our
sistema
colleague, Jennifer
de
Burke from Santa Rosa Water will be addressing efforts by Sonoma Water's retail customers
que van a estar
to
enfrentando
increase efficiency
para que tienen
and
que ver con
conservation.
para
As mentioned
conservar.
earlier, Sonoma Water is legally obligated to meet
No
minimum
más tiene
stream
que
flow
estar
requirements in the Russian River and Dry Creek
de que el
conditions of its water right permits.
condiciones del agua es
Requirements are met
a
by
veces
natural flow and releases
de
Sonoma Water makes from Lake Mendocino and Lake
el
Sonoma.
agua que recibimos del lago
When
Mendoza.
it dries out and natural flow drops off, which we're seeing right
De agua
now,
se va a hacer
flow requirements and demands by Russian downstream users are primarily met by releases from the two reservoirs.
de tener
Since 2020, Sonoma Water has been working with the
en
Division
lo
of Water Rights, the State Water
trabajando los
Resources
de
Control
agua
Board, to
para el
temporarily reduce minimum stream flow requirements
control
in the Russian River in order to preserve storage in both Lake
para
Mendocino
preservar
and Lake
esa agua, el lago Mendocino del lago
A
Sonoma.
recent order issued by the State Board in December 2021, Sonoma Water is managing reservoir releases to meet the lowest minimum stream flow
El agua teniendo
authorized in our water right permits.
utilizando el agua
This
para
order expires on June 8th.
entonces esto va a
On the
empezar
5th, Sonoma Water
para
filed new petitions with the State Water
se
Board
van a meter
requesting to
peticiones
extend
para
the
el
lower minimum stream flow
esa
requirements for another 180 days.
que va
Today, and the State Board will issue an order
el estado
on June 8th to replace the expiring order. Without
que
an
los
order from the State Water Board approving the
tengan
necessary
órdenes del
changes,
departamento de agua o
flow requirements between Lake
el
Mendocino and Healdsburg
agua
will
sean
increase
pasados
cubic feet per second
que se
to
puedan subir
65
por
cubic feet per second. And from Healdsburg to Jenner, they will increase from 35 cubic feet per second to 125 cubic feet per second.
a 100
Making
pies.
releases from Lake Mendocino and Lake Sonoma to meet these higher minimum stream flows would severely deplete
Está
the reservoirs, risking water supply for hundreds of thousands of people and the threatened and endangered
agua
species that depend on the Russian River.
de personas
In addition to managing river flows, Sonoma Water will also be working with its retail customers to
tienen que
reduce
hablar
its diversions from the Russian River to reduce storage in
para
Sonoma.
personajes de
Last year, Sonoma Water and its retail customers have voluntarily committed to reducing Russian River diversions by 20% between July 1 and October 31 compared to the same period in 2020.
octubre a
Last
20
year, Sonoma Water and its retail
El año
customers successfully reduced Russian River diversions by nearly 20%.
pagaron inversión de agua, ¿verdad?
So far, I've described what Sonoma Water has the authority to do to protect water supply during this unprecedented drought.
que
Sonoma
tienen
Water has little influence, however, over diversions of Russian River water by other users.
bajo los
Russian
diferentes
River diversions by other users really can only be done under the authority of the State Water Resources Control Board.
va a tener que ser
Last year, in August of 2021, the
algo
State
de
Water
agua
Board took unprecedented action in the Russian River watershed by curtailing over 1,800 appropriative water rights and riparian claims, including several of Sonoma Water's permits. The curtailments were suspended in response to the atmospheric river event that occurred in late October of last year. Suspension of the curtailments has remained in place based on monthly and bi-monthly water availability analyses prepared by the staff at the State Water Board. In May, the State Water Board adopted new emergency regulations for the Russian River, providing broad authority for the Division of Water Rights to curtail water rights again this summer based on water availability. Sonoma Water anticipates that based on declining natural flows and likely reduced transfers of Potter Valley project water in the upcoming weeks will significantly will result in the State Water Board issuing curtailment notices to the Russian River sometime this summer. And that's what I have for my update. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Director Rabbit.
Se lo va pasando a pasar, tú estás diciendo, pero está hablando
Appreciate all the
mucha
work.
tecnología y
From Jennifer Burke, who oversees water for the city of Santa Rosa. Jennifer is also
ella trabaja
member
con
of the
el
Sonoma
departamento de agua de la
Saving
ciudad.
Water Partnership, which
También trabaja con
I think 13 water utilities in Sonoma and Marin counties that
ciudades
work together to provide regional solutions for water
proveer
use efficiency.
soluciones para el uso de agua, de agua.
Thank you, Director Abbott,
Gracias.
and good afternoon.
Buenas
Thank you for inviting
Buenas
me
tardes,
to
está por
participate.
invitarme a
If you
participar.
could please
Por
share my
favor, por
PowerPoint.
pegar mi,
Great, thank you so much.
gracias.
As was mentioned, my name is Jennifer
Como
Burke, and I'm
saben,
the Director of the City of
soy la
Santa
directora
Rosa's Water
de la ciudad de
Department.
Santa Rosa, del
And we
departamento de
are a retail water
estamos
provider that
un proveedor
purchases
de agua
water from
de
Sonoma
compra
Water and provides
del
it
agua de
to
Sonoma,
roughly
que le provee a
54,000 customer
contra
accounts in the
4,000
Santa Rosa city
clientes en
limits.
la área de
Next
los
slide, please.
ciudades de Santa Rosa.
As Director Rabbit mentioned,
De-
the
Como
Sonoma
el
Marin
titular mencionó,
Saving Water
en
Partnership
Sonoma Marin
is
están teniendo
13 water utilities in Sonoma
tienen
and
13
Marin counties
agua en
that
Sonoma y
have
el
joined
condado
together to provide
y han estado
regional
juntos para
solutions for
proveer
water use efficiency.
soluciones para el uso
So
de
I'm here
agua
today to
de
talk
uso.
about the
Estoy
water
ahora para
conservation
hablar
response
acerca de
to the drought,
la respuesta de
not
conservación
only
del agua
Santa
en la
Rosa, but also Sonoma Marin Saving Water
pero también
Partnership.
en Sonoma
Next slide,
y
please.
el compañerismo que tenemos con ellos.
A little bit of background.
Un poquito
In
de
April
fondo.
2021,
En abril
Governor
2021,
Newsom
el
declared a town
gobernador
emergency for the Russian River
puso
watershed.
la
As water
cuenta
retailers that purchase
producción
water from Sonoma Water,
bajo
we
emergencia.
committed to reducing water
Estamos
use
decididos
by at
de
least
guardar
20%
agua por lo menos
compared to 2020.
20% de conservado comparado
In June
con
of 2021, each
2021.
water
Cada
retailer
uno de los
implemented the appropriate stage of their shortage plan
tienen un
to
primeros
achieve
plan
at
para
least a
tratar de ganar
20%
este
reduction in water
20%
use
de reducción del uso de
compared
agua
to 2020.
comparado a 2020.
Next slide, please.
La siguiente pantalla, por favor.
So what does this look like for Santa
Aquí
Rosa?
esto era como
In
esto es lo que
June of
tenía para
2021,
junio del
the
2021,
Santa Rosa City Council
el condado
adopted stage
condado de
3
Santa
of our
Rosa
shortage plan,
hablaron
requiring
acerca
a
del
20%
problema de agua que
community-wide reduction in water use, as
cortar
well as
por
a
20% del
number
uso
of
de agua
prohibitions, including limits on irrigation,
prohibidas
preventing washing down hard
para
surfaces,
prevenir
as well as
de estar
requirements for restaurants
gastando
and
agua, ya
hotels.
sea como lavando las banquetas,
Next
lavando
slide, please.
los driveways o diferentes
So I
prácticas
was
para
asked to
agua.
share sort of
So,
the
me
top
pidieron a
10
mí para
easy
compartir
tips
con
that you
ustedes
can do to
las
eliminate water
claves
waste
que
and
pueden
improve
hacer
water use efficiency.
para
Next
ahorrar
slide,
agua y
please.
no
So number
desperdiciar agua.
1,
So, la número
get to
uno es
know your water use.
que
Check your
conozcan
water bill and determine how much water you
su,
use.
su bill,
For example, indoor water use can typically be met by
su
using no
reporte
more
de agua
than
cada
50
mes,
gallons
¿verdad?
per
Cuando
person per day, and
se
efficient
checa ver
homes
cuánto
can use as
están usando por
little
día,
as
cuánto
20 to
están
25
usando
gallons
a
per
por
person
mes,
per day.
cuánto están usando. So,
Next
tratar de
slide,
checar
please.
si las personas en su casa están usando
Even
por día.
small leaks can
Hasta
waste
cosas
quite a
de
bit of water. So it's
pueden a
really
veces
important to check your
bastante
water
agua.
bill.
Entonces es
You
muy
can
importante
also
su,
easily check your
su,
toilets to see
su,
if they are leaking by either getting free dye tablets from
cada que
your
llegue
water
agua.
retailer or by placing 10 drops of food coloring into the tank at the back
También lo
of
que
the
pueden
toilet.
hacer es cuando
Let
se
it
está
sit for 10
goteando
minutes. Don't
las
flush
tazas
it.
de la casa
And if
del
color
baño
shows up in the bowl,
están
you have a
limpiando,
leak.
lo que puede hacer también es usarlo
Next
como
slide,
colorante
please.
en el tanque. Y si mira ese colorante en la tina, en la
Another simple
taza,
tip is
es
turn off the
listo.
tap. Take
También
brief
otra de las
showers
también es de
and
tomar
capture
paños
warm
de
water in a
fotos
bucket.
y
Most
mantener
water
también agua.
retailers provide free
La
buckets,
mayoría de los
and
que
some also have free shower timers that are available for their customers.
toman su baño de 5 minutos,
Whenever possible, only
cuando
use
sea
full
posible,
loads in your
solamente
dishwasher and
Ya sea con la lavadora o en su
to quite a bit
lavaplatos,
of work.
el lavaplatos cuando esté llena de platos
Next
o cuando
slide, please.
de rato para aprovechar
Check
el
your
uso de
shower heads and
también cheque
aerators to ensure
su
high
arrostrador
efficiency.
de agua del baño
Your
para
shower
que
heads
esté
use 2
trabajando
to 4
bien.
gallons per minute,
Hay veces que
while
las,
high efficiency shower
las,
heads use 1.5
rostradores
gallons per minute.
usan un galón
Other
por minuto,
aerators use 2 to
1.5
4 gallons
galones
per minute,
por minuto,
and
cuando los
high
nuevos
efficiency
usan
aerators use
hasta
1
3 a
gallon
4
per minute.
galones por minuto.
Most water retailers
Pero la
provide
mayoría de los
high
vendedores
efficiency devices
venden
for free.
rostradores de alta eficiencia para que lo puedan cambiar.
Reduce your outdoor water use.
Para reducir el
Critically important during
uso de
flood
agua
floods.
afuera en el
Water
jardín,
between midnight
el
and
agua
6
entre
a.m.
la
to reduce
medianoche
water
y las 6 de
loss
la
from
mañana.
evaporation.
Esa es la mejor
Water
forma de
your
prevenir
lawn
el agua
and
a través de
garden
la
in
evaporación.
2
No
short
se ponga a
cycles
lavar o a
rather
regar
than
sus
1 long
zapatos
one.
por la
This
mañana
will allow
o a
water
mediodía
to
cuando está
penetrate
caliente.
deeper and encourage
Esto
healthier
no
roots.
sirve. Se está
Also,
evaporando
use
y como
mulch to help
el
reduce
80% del agua
evaporative
se va
loss.
a evaporar. En las
Next slide,
partes donde
please.
tiene plantas hay que ponerles cáscara para mantener
If
la
you
humedad.
only walk on your lawn to mow it,
Solamente maneja
consider
en su
removing it and
zacate
replacing it
para
with low
caminar.
water use alternatives.
Es mejor
In Santa
anticipo
Rosa, we currently
es
have
necesario
a
un
drought
césped
rebate
y
of
poner un
$1.50 per
jardín de
square foot
tierra
for removing your
para y
Next slide,
hay
please.
incentivos para ayudarla a remover todo su zacate y
Make
reemplazarlo con
improvements for high
más
efficiency irrigation,
efectivos para la
such
sequía.
as looking at smart weather-based irrigation controllers,
Trate de mejorar el sistema de
installing point
irrigación,
application irrigation such as drip
instalando
systems.
cabezas que son más eficientes
Next slide,
para
please. Install low water use and
también
drought tolerant and
permite
native plants.
plantas
There's
nativas o
information
de
available
bajo
on
uso de agua.
watersmartplant.org to help you pick out plants that are right for our region.
También trate de hablar con
And
un
last,
experto para que escoja plantas que son más
savingwaterpartnership.org
efectivas
to
para
see
esta
the
región.
various rebates and
También
incentives
una de las
that
cosas es
are
mirar
available
los
from your
incentivos
water
que hay
retailer.
disponibles
Next
de
slide,
los
please.
que venden el agua, de los departamentos de
Specifically
agua
for
que
Santa
los
Rosa, we offer a number of
programas
tools,
que tienen para
resources, and
ofrecer
rebates for our
para
customers. Next slide,
rebates
please.
para que donde les
We
pueden
provide
regresar
numerous rebates from
a
rainwater harvesting to
diferentes
graywater
tipos de
reuse,
programas que tenemos
lawn
disponibles
removal, and
para si
recently
quieren
we
remover sus
launched
sacadas.
2 new programs
Poner un sistema de irrigación
rebates for pool covers as well as
que trabaje con el satélite.
Next slide,
ah,
please. We have a number of events coming up this summer where you
Tenemos
can
unos
pick up
eventos
a
que
free
van a
drought
venir en este
toolkit,
verano, donde pueden venir a
including
levantar
our
una
Water Smart
cantidad de
Expo, which will
herramientas para
occur on
ayudarles
June 29th
a
at the downtown market
estar
from
en
5
junio
to
29
8:30
en la
p.m.
marqueta
in
en la
downtown Santa
noche de
Rosa.
las 5 a las 8 y
Next
media
slide, please.
en el centro de Santa Rosa.
We also have a new
Vamos a
tool that
tener
allows you to view
una
your
nueva
water
herramienta
use
que da
online in
mirar su
hourly,
línea
daily, weekly, and monthly
diariamente,
increments.
semanalmente
Have
o
you signed
mensualmente.
up
Eso
before
usted puede
July 8th?
va a
Enter
inscribirse
to win a
antes de
$200 credit on their water bill.
y
Next
pues va a
slide,
recibir un
please.
crédito de $200
We
en
also
su
have a number of
cuenta.
free
También
webinars
tenemos
where you can learn
webinarios donde usted
different
puede
water use
aprender
saving tips.
diferentes
Visit
sistemas
srcity.org
para ayudar cómo
/workshops to sign
pueden
up.
hacer talleres para aprender de
Next
cómo
slide.
ahorrar agua.
Thank you very much.
Gracias mucho.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate that very much. We were
Gracias,
lucky
Jennifer.
enough to pick up a bucket at the Petaluma Butter and Eggs Day Parade from the booth from Petaluma Water. And I can say that I shower with that bucket each and every morning, and we do use that. It's turned out to be very efficient. So appreciate those tips. Next, we're going to hear from Chris Watt, the
Enseguida
senior
vamos a
geologist with the North
Chris
Dakota
Watt,
Regional Water Board.
geólogo
Chris
de
has
la
some
mesa
information about how the drought is impacting people with
de
wells
la
and resources to help
lo que
our
tiene
groundwater users.
de pozos y recursos para los usos de agua.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Good evening, everyone. So,
Noches a todos, buenas tardes a todos. Va a compartir su pantalla también.
all right, is that showing up? So, my name is Chris Watt. I'm a senior engineering geologist with our regional water board. Our
Con la
office
mesa
is based in
de
Santa
de
Rosa.
agua,
Cover
el comité de
territory all
agua.
the way up to the Oregon border and east to Siskiyou County. And we heard earlier about the large
usamos
water supply and
los
municipal water authorities.
agua.
But some folks in the region, quite a
Hay
few
gente en la
actually,
que
a very high
bastante
number, rely on
número alto
private
que
water wells for their water
dependen
supply.
de los aguas de pozo,
And,
¿verdad?
we know that
Sabemos de
in
que
times of low
en el
rainfall and
tiempo
low recharge
cuando
during droughts,
hay que se van a
that the
decantar los
water
pozos,
quality in some of the
la
most
calidad de agua
wells,
empieza también a cambiar también cuando hay una sequía. Entonces a
degrade,
veces
become
puede
poor.
ser donde el agua
So,
de que tiene
a private well owner is really responsible for
cuando
making sure
empieza a
that
hacerse muy
they
bajito el
maintain their
pozo y
water.
los niveles de agua están bastante bajos,
Encourage private
empieza a
well
cambiar la
owners
calidad del agua.
to regularly
Entonces,
test
estamos todo el
wells
tiempo
for
pidiéndole
things
a
like
los dueños que estén
minerals,
todo el tiempo
things
chequeando
like
sus
arsenic
chequeando el agua de sus
and
pozos para ver los
mercury
minerales
be in
en
those
el agua,
wells, and
asegurar de que el agua que
to
está teniendo la calidad.
the Sonoma County put
También
together a great
el Condado de
resource
Sonoma
for
puso
well
un
owners. It's
de
a
para los dueños
water well users page
una página que está en el
soco.emergency.gov
sitio del web de Soco de emergencia donde pueden aprender acerca de la seguridad de agua, diferentes formas de tomar el agua o laboratorios que proveen pruebas para practicar su agua, para también diferentes tecnologías de tratamiento en caso de que tengan agua en el agua que necesita que removerse.
There's also a website
También
that the
hay
state water
un
board has
sitio
put out
web que
where
el
you
Estado ha
can go to
puesto,
see if there is
también
known
pueden mirar a ver si
quality
hay
issues
algún
with the neighborhood,
problema de
and
calidad de agua
it's
en
called
la
aquifer risk
vivienda donde
map
viven.
that the
Vale, lo tienen ahí
state
dividido
put
por
out
mapas. Entonces la mesa
show that
del agua, de
list.
los directivos de agua, eso pueden compartir ellos esa información ahí.
And this is a nice tool that you can
Una buena
turn on
herramienta que
different layers
pueden
to see
ver
what's
diferentes
known about
tipos
water in your
de
region. And here
que
I'm
están
displaying the
en la agua de su
reoccurring
región, a ver
arsenic
si algo está
that's
pasando,
found in
ya
the
sea, a veces hay arsenic que se
Santa
está
Rosa
entrando en
to
el agua,
area.
como en la agua de
So chemical
Rosa.
things to kind of alert you that
Hay
there
unos
might be
códigos de
naturally
color
occurring
que
arsenic.
esa es una cosa natural que a veces ocurre, entonces hay diferentes códigos por
Another
color, les están dejando saber qué tan
initiative
alto
that's being worked on in
está.
our office that I think is
Otra cosa que a
timely
veces
is
pasa
about
también que
groundwater protection and the
la
need to
protección
protect
del
groundwater
agua
in
agua
times of
terrenal.
drought when surface water
Y
supplies are low.
cuando hay
Folks tend to
una
rely
sequía y los
on their
niveles de agua
groundwater
están
supplies, and
bajos,
so as
cuando
we
el
see
suplidor de agua
changes
está
in
abajo de la tierra,
availability of
se
surface
cambia,
water,
empieza a
there's
bajar
likely going to
también.
be a
Entonces va a
higher
haber
demand on
efectivamente
groundwater
una
and
demanda para el agua terrenal, ¿verdad? En
this is the
estos
need to
tiempos,
make
cuando
sure
está
that
bajando la
soil
sequía,
quality that can be
la agua de los
served
ríos
is
y
beneficial
los lagos.
uses. So
So,
our office has been working on a policy statement
nosotros estamos
that
trabajando en
emphasizes
una póliza que van a
and
enfatizar
it'll be
eso.
considered
Va a ser
by our
considerado
board, which will
ah,
provide some
por
direction
la
to
directiva
staff
que
and
va
the
a dar
public about how
dirección
we're protecting
al
groundwater.
público de cómo estamos
That can be
protegiendo el
found
agua
on the
terrenal.
executive orders
Eso se
page
puede encontrar en las
of the
órdenes
Sonoma
y las
Water.
páginas de orden.
Click here.
Ahí hay unos enlaces.
Finally, there's
Finalmente,
funding that's out there. The
hay
state water
dinero
board
que
has
hay
opened
para de la mesa
a
de la mesa
county-wide
de agua
regional funding
que
solicitation
están dando sus situaciones
counties are
para los
eligible
fundados
partners
o
such as nonprofits,
compañeros que
resource
son
conservation
elegibles, ya están
districts
lucrativos,
that seek funding
que
to
pueden buscar
implement
dinero para
programs
implementar
that address
programas que
drought-related or
tengan que ver
contamination
con
issues for
situaciones relacionadas con
users
la
in
sequía, ya sea como para los que buscan pozos
households. It can also
o
serve
para suplir
small
agua de
state
sus
water
casas,
systems
hogares o los
that have
sistemas de
a
agua.
small number of connections.
Tenemos
This is an ongoing funding
este va a
source.
ser, este es un
So
programa
in
que
the event
estoy
that
haciendo
folks
en el
are seeing
evento de
impacts
que
from drought, like wells
haya
going dry,
impactos de
there is some
sequías.
funding out there
Entonces hay formas de
the
recibir un poco de ayuda
together. So
para las personas que
those are the
también
only things I have to share.
y
And
tratar de explorar lo que encuentren mal en su sistema de agua. Gracias, eso es todo lo que tengo y
Thank you,
gracias por
Chris. I know many of you have questions out there, so
yo sé que muchos de ustedes tienen,
our best to respond to as many
vamos
as
a
we
hacer
can.
lo mejor que podamos
Paul
para
Phillips, our county's communications manager,
y también el
to
manejo
tell
de
you how you can
comunicación para
submit those questions to our panel.
cómo pueden ustedes someter estas palabras
Thank you, Supervisor Rabbit. We just want to
para
remind
que
everybody that as
pues,
Supervisor Rabbit
queremos
mentioned earlier,
explicarle a
there are
todos
three ways
porque
that you
estamos
can pose your questions to our
la forma
panelists
que
today.
entonces
If you
a
have
los
joined us
panelistas
on Zoom, we
que
invite
nos
you to
han
type your questions in the
quiero que
Q&A
metan
box at the bottom
en la caja de Q y A, preguntas y respuestas. Aquí tenemos personas del Condado de Sonoma de agua que pueden responder preguntas. Que están mirando esto en Facebook, en YouTube, también les estamos de la área de comentarios o preguntas. También otro pueden mandar por correo electrónico a public affairs at sonoma This is public affairs at sonoma-county.org. Vamos a empezar.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. And
Gracias.
I see an upvote from Mary Callahan, Press Democrat. And one I think would go back to Don Seymour, if Don's with us. What do we know about PG&E's variance application, the likely timing on FERC,
De la variante de
and the implications for flows into Lake Mendocino, and the voluntary water
la,
that PG&E currently allowed to
en el acuerdo que tenían de compartir agua,
talking about Potter Valley and everything.
de, estamos hablando de donde se activa el agua en la parte norte.
So, taking on the first part of that question,
En la primera parte de esta pregunta,
PG&E filed that variance on May 13th.
sometió una variancia, ¿verdad? Estaba un poco sorprendido que hicieron esto. Ha habido un grupo de entonces
FERC has acknowledged they've received the variance, and there's currently a comment period. I believe it's open until June 9th.
parece que está abierto hasta
I think FERC's gonna, has not indicated when they're gonna, what actions they're gonna take, but
qué acciones iban a tomar, pero es mi
FERC will approve that variance without
van a
some
tomar
relief.
ese,
They would drain down Lake Pillsbury
Va-
to unsafe levels.
van a bajar
So, I think it's something that'll be issued by FERC
a unos
within the next 30 days. And at that point, we're going to see
a ese punto
on the Potter Valley project very similar to last year, which were
los
drastic
proyectos
reductions from what we normally see.
van a mirar, van a saber cómo están. Que hayan visto.
Which gets to Mary's second question on the
También en la
sharing agreement.
parte de la pregunta de la
Agreements are going to be based
agua,
on natural flow that's available and also those Potter Valley project imports. And if
un proyecto que
there's
está
not enough water to share, it's going to be very
No.
difficult
partir va a ser
for that
para
program
ese programa,
this year once those reductions are made.
ya que esas reducciones se hagan.
We absolutely have to see what FERC does. There's no way I can guess what FERC is going to do. But
no
again, if we see some of the reductions PG&E's
Vamos a
requested,
tener que ir las reducciones
it's very difficult for that program to function
va a
this
ser
year.
muy
There's just not
para
going to be
el programa
the amount of water necessary
para que
to
comparta el agua,
allow holders to share with the juniors.
para no estamos cómo trabajar. También nos preguntaron si la mesa de la regulación el 24 de mayo, si ya están ellos haciendo cosas para por ejemplo, la prohibición de agua para dejar como ciertos cestos o personas de limpieza cuando se está usando. Ustedes ven que va a haber más cortes de agua, que va a haber menos.
Other than, Sonoma Water has voluntarily committed with its customers this year again to reduce its diversions by 20%. It,
Lo que estamos
goes
hablando
to how that
es
impacts the
las
retail end
prácticas
on, how they manage that reduction in delivery
ver
of
cómo
Sonoma
estamos
Water compared
lo
to,
estamos en el condado de
local
Sonoma,
resources they have
estamos
to
en
supplement
el
or,
departamento.
the level of conservation they'll need to achieve.
Tenemos el
That,
nivel de
I think
conservación.
Jennifer might be better to
Puede
answer
ser
really how it's,
ella pueda
regulation might
estar más
impact
a
the retail customer.
cómo va a impactar a los clientes.
Sure. Thanks, Don, and thanks, Director Rabbit. In terms of the new emergency regulation,
Como que vienen las nuevas
it does
regulaciones
require all
que
the water
quiere que
retailers in this
todos
area
los que
to
venden
provide
agua en esta
information
área que provean
as
información
commercial,
que viene
industrial,
siendo
and
para
institutional
lo que es industrial
customers
o
to
comercial,
let them know
para
that there is
clientes,
a new requirement that prevents
sepan
the
de que hay un nuevo
irrigation of what's
registro de agua,
defined as
para que
non-functional
sepan más qué es lo que son
So in Santa
términos
Rosa, we are putting all of that material together and sending it out to
y asegurar este entonces
I
material
know that it is
a los clientes
in
para
effect
que sepan,
starting June
que
10th.
sepan de
And
que hay
if
un
there's
evento.
questions or enforcement needs, that is all being done at
Preguntas
the
de
state of
enfocamiento
California.
de
So we're
de
providing all that
preguntas de cómo va a
information to our
afectar toda esta
customers.
información la vamos a proveer
And
a
then in terms
clientes
of the
y
other
en términos
regulations,
de
we
las
are
otras
already
regulaciones
in
ya
stage
estamos
3 of our
también
shortage plan, which is
en la página 3 de
addressing
nuestra
water
información
reduction.
de
And
lo
all
que
our
tenemos
prohibitions and
que
restrictions
la
are in
producción
place, so we're in compliance with all the other pieces of the
prohibición
emergency
que va a haber
ordinance
de ciertos
or
usos
emergency regulation.
que van a ver toda esta
Thank you,
información
Jennifer. Appreciate that. You know,
evaluación.
I know there's always a lot of questions during
Puede
times
que
of
hay
drought about development.
seguramente
And
muchas
there was a
preguntas a
question
ver
regarding
había una
making
pregunta
new development in times of drought when we're all
lo que viene en turno,
conserve as
¿verdad?
much water as possible. It was answered in the Q&A here on Zoom, but I'll just read the answer that Ann Dubay posted.
Había una pregunta aquí en la
Urban water management plans prepared by local water providers
el
include
plan que hay
growth projections,
sobre
planned
agua,
water projects, and water conservation efforts.
proyectos de agua y la
These plans
conservación
address how water will be provided to meet
para
planned
el agua.
growth. Sonoma Water's plan can be found at
El plan de Sonoma está en www.sonomawater.org.
And Jennifer added from
Y
the
ella
city of
dijo
Santa Rosa's perspective,
el condado
under state
de
and local regulations, new developments are required to be extremely
los
water efficient and must
locales
comply with the water efficient landscape ordinance and the Cal Green
con los
building
órdenes,
code. In fact,
nuevos,
new development must be 20% more water efficient than
los
existing
gastos de agua, ¿verdad? Con los nuevos códigos.
often exceeds this target.
Muchas
The
de las
city of
veces
Santa Rosa's water shortage contingency plan
la
details
cuestión de
how
agua
the city
en
will
arroz,
respond to a reduction in water supply.
van a responder
During
también
water
ellos
shortage stages
de
5
agua.
through 8, 30%
O sea,
shortage or greater, new construction must offset its
necesito más
water demand
tanque
to
de
ensure
agua.
a net zero impact. I always know that that issue comes up.
Yo sé que cada vez están
It's
el
interesting
problema
as we have both a drought and a housing crisis at the same time. We do
y al
try to
mismo
accommodate
estamos
the
tratando de
additional growth
acomodar
that's
la
anticipated to be
todavía
through
estamos
the urban
anti
water management plans, which
por
do
el
have
plan
a 20-year outlook and a 5-year update
estamos tratando de
and
mirar
stress
a
test with
evaluación
the most severe drought on record, which is the one
las
right now.
redes que
So there is a lot of
de
making sure
red
that that is held firm. Moratoriums are really, in land
para
use parlance, I can say this as an architect, kind of a
Ay,
nuclear option. And
que
you
la-
have to be careful to be able to make the findings.
y
Because
lo
what
que
we're
tengo
really
mucho
doing
tiempo,
is it's
porque
a constitutional issue that becomes a takings issue. And so if the
porque
findings aren't there, and
es de la
conservation alone is not necessarily adequate to make findings to in place a moratorium, it has to get significantly worse, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at that. Someone did ask, are slides to be made available after the meeting to reference the links? I certainly hope so. Paul, can you confirm?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that one up.
alguien
by the
estaba
way. I
pidiendo
wanted to make
que
sure
las
clear that
pantallas
we will
con
be making
toda
the
la
slides
información
available. We
va a
posted
estar
those on our
disponible.
website,
Espero que sí, para que puedan agarrar todos los sitios
soberwater.org.
web de las diferentes
I just let people know that
áreas donde pueden recibir ayuda.
this presentation will be
Esta presentación va a estar,
for those who
va a estar disponible para todos.
will be available on Facebook and
Va a estar en Facebook también.
Great, thank you very much. And maybe Jennifer can help us with this one, because there always seems to be a question or two about pools and spas and either filling or topping off. What's the current situation in
Pregunta de la,
Santa Rosa
quiero saber
with pool use and water?
lo que viene siendo con el uso de
Yes,
alberca.
we do get a lot of questions about pools currently in the state
La
of shortage
pregunta
that
acerca
we're
de las
in.
albercas.
We don't have any limitations on
Ahorita no hay
building or installing new pools.
nada,
As we get
vamos
to
a hablar
higher stages
alberca.
of our shortage plan, we do start
Falta
having limitations on that.
pero
In
sí,
the meantime, what we are
por
doing
ahorita
is encouraging
estamos
people to be as
haciendo,
efficient
estamos
as
pidiendo a la
possible.
gente
We have
de
just
que
launched a
están
new pool cover rebate. So by installing a pool
el
cover,
cobertor de
you
alberca,
help reduce evaporative loss quite a bit.
hay un
We have
reembolso,
also put out a
solo
new
de
pool
alberca.
removal rebate. So if there's folks that
También
are
hay una para
interested
remover.
in
Si alguien
removing
está
their pools and
interesado
replacing them
en
with
remover
better
su
use
alberca,
alternatives, we have a new rebate and incentive to encourage customers to
tenemos
do
también
that.
un rebate para eso, donde le un
Very
debate.
much. This might be a quick one for you, Jennifer. Someone asked on
Esto va a ser otra también fácil. Alguien
drilling
también
a well within the city of Santa Rosa.
puede
What's
hacer
the
adentro
answer to that?
de Ciudad de Santa Rosa. Se puede
You are
escarbar
allowed to drill a well in the city of Santa Aaron,
si quieren,
we are
no para
not the
pozo,
regulatory agency for
si
wells.
quiere,
You actually have to go through Sonoma County
el condado de
PRD,
Sonoma,
and they will provide you all of the
que les
information
va a proveer todos
about
los
what's required to install
acerca
a
de lo
well.
que hay para el
Once
pozo.
you have a well
Ya de
permit,
que tengan
and
todos los
if you are
procesos,
going to install a well and you're connected to the
van a
city water
instalar un
system,
pozo
you will have to put
con
in
un
a
sistema de
backflow
agua, van a
device
poner
on the
a un
backside of
vacuum,
your meter to ensure that we don't have
el aparato
any
que va a retener el agua
potential
para
contamination
no
of the
corra tan
public
fuerte
water
en
system
caso de un
from
derrame
the
de
on-site
también un
water
medidor
supply.
para mirar cuánta agua se está
Great,
sacando
thank
del.
you very much. And then there was another question, since I have you there,
También había una pregunta,
regarding recycled water, which I think is a great resource.
agua
Obviously,
reciclada,
Santa
que
Rosa
es un buen
sends
recurso,
additional
¿verdad?
recycled water to the geysers. What's the status of that particular
¿Cuál es el estado
use
de
and what's available for our
está,
ag
está ahí
farms,
disponible
and
para
how
la
is that
venta para
working presently?
amigos
I know
que
that
trabajan?
resource also goes down in times of drought as well.
Sabemos que eso a veces sí
Yes,
baja, ¿verdad?
so great question about
Buena
recycled water.
pregunta.
The
Tiene
city of Santa
agua,
Rosa is
se
the
puede
owner and
Santa Rosa,
operator of the
pequeño,
regional
la-
wastewater treatment plant, and we
del
provide
la puerta
wastewater
de
treatment for the cities
agua,
of Santa Rosa,
lo
Roanoke
veo un servicio para Santa
County,
Rosa, a
Sebastopol,
Cotari,
and South Park County Sanitation
South
District.
Park, a
We
South Park.
reuse most
Nosotros
years
tenemos
100% of our recycled water.
100% de agua
And that means that we beneficially reuse all the water that comes into the
con el
treatment
uso
plant
que
and
sale
is treated.
del plante, todo está
We have
tratado.
seen in the last
Tiene
couple of years
todo,
the amount of
están
sewage
una
going into
cantidad
the plant
de
dropped
basura que está
by
pasando a la
1.5
planta como,
billion gallons, and then last year 1 billion gallons. So we do see during times of drought
galones
that we have
están,
less recycled water coming to our
estamos
treatment
mirando
plant.
que también está
As
llegando
I
menos
mentioned,
agua
we beneficially
cada
reuse
año
100%
de
of our
residuos.
recycled water. So roughly 2/3 goes to the geysers
Dos tercios del agua que va a los
to
ranchos
produce clean green energy,
para supletar,
providing green energy for
a
100,000 homes
energía
in this
lista
area.
a
And
más de
then
1,000
we
lugares.
have recycled water
También
that is
tenemos agua
provided to
reciclada que
the
está
city of
subiendo
Roanoke Park for
al
urban irrigation and a
sistema
small system in Santa
con la
Rosa for
y
urban irrigation.
Santa Rosa.
That's about 400 to 500 million gallons per year. And
Lo
that
de
benefits by offsetting potable water use that we purchase from Sonoma Water. And
también
then
compran agua
on the agricultural side,
en
we
la parte de
provide recycled
estamos
water for
usando
approximately
agua
6,400
reciclada
acres of farmland.
para diferente
That
para
water
varias
supply
partes
is
de
an
tierra
interruptible supply.
de
So
agricultura.
during times of drought, when we have less water available, we do provide
Tenemos agua
allocations to
disponible
our customers
a lo que
separately, like we do on the potable water side. If we have
en el agua potable y
less
en el
water,
agua
we
donde
can
tenemos
provide allocations in higher
agua
levels of
también
our
que
shortage plan.
tenemos reciclado
Thank
para
you, Jennifer.
porque hay
Appreciate that.
cortes de
There was
agua.
another question, and Mary Callahan
Una
asked about
pregunta
La
también.
Nina and the outlook going forward, and I wonder if
La también ahora es lo que
I'm not sure who would be
pues,
the appropriate person, maybe Don or Chris. Can we talk about the extraordinary drought,
acerca de la
the length
sequía,
of
¿verdad?
drought that we're in,
Ahora en la
the outlook
cantidad
going
de
forward,
estamos
and the
ahorita.
effect
Todos miramos para
that
adelante,
we're in this pattern of very
donde
volatile
estamos
weather patterns
pasando,
going
¿verdad?
forward, and how we're
Estamos
prepared
mirando el
to
clima y cómo
that.
está entrando y tenemos que
I would
adaptarnos.
say, La
Pero
Nina,
yo, um,
some correlated
tiene
has correlation to precipitation.
correlación
However, it's really seen in the Central Valley in Southern California.
en
There's very
países
little correlation for La Nina and El Nino in Northern California. We're kind of on that border where we really see it could go either way, 50-50. It could be drought or it can be above normal rainfall. So it's really not a very good predictor for our area. I would say going forward, Sonoma Water has been teaming with
no sabemos muy bien, no estamos seguros si va a
private
haber
companies
agua y va a ser
and
agua
Scripps Institute,
cada año.
Center for Western Weather Extremes, on
De la niña.
developing forecast tools that are in the 90
Pues
to
tanto
120 day range. Those are not known as seasonal,
de-
sub-seasonal forecasts.
le
Right
digo,
now, those forecasts have
de
shown
agua
a lot, up until now, haven't shown a lot of skill in helping us
de
kind of
las
know where we're going. But
de que sepan
there is a lot of interest in research and improving the skills of those forecasts that would be really critical going into, the September or fall timeframe and getting a better understanding of what type of rainfall will we be seeing over the next 90 days, so November through January. So we are working closely with research and private companies on improving that technology.
Entonces estamos tratando de mejorar esto,
If I may, our interpreters are asking everybody to just kind of slow down a little bit in the answers. They're having a hard time keeping up. This is complicated information, and I certainly feel for them. We really appreciate them being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder. Very much appreciated. There's always a question or two from
siempre hay
folks
una pregunta o dos
who have
que
been taking water conservation
que
very
han
seriously.
estado usando la conservación y están produciendo productos de agua constantemente. ¿Alguien puede hablar de qué se les va a hacer de aquí en adelante? A lo mejor Jennifer.
Sorry about that. Yes, happy to talk to that. So in Santa Rosa specifically, our
estamos currentes con la control de agua. Estamos fuertes de agua, estamos en el estado escasez de agua. Para esas personas que son tan precisas, los más poquitos, por favor, gracias por hacer esto. No les estamos para las personas que a lo mejor no saben que ellos tienen que reducir su agua más. Somos un número a rebates, a herramientas que están disponibles para ayudar a los expertos también gratis, gratuitos, donde experto va a salir a su casa para revisar todos los aparatos de agua adentro y afuera. Y les deja saber si hay algo que se puede mejorar para reducir el agua. Para esos que no saben, se pueden reducir el agua. Los programas de los para cortar más o el uso de agua o al ahorro. Tenemos a estados más altos de nosotros proveer aplicaciones para donde la cosa por persona podemos a ver qué tanto la persona puede conservar, no se le va a penalizar. Lo que viene es la pregunta, ¿dónde estamos ahorita con los ahorros? Puedo decir que por Rosa, estamos a estado 3 del plan de agua del año pasado, que a los entonces cuidando el agua de julio o hasta abril. Julio hasta abril. Hasta 40% de agua en Santa Rosa. Para personas que dependen por los que los niveles de agua van a bajar, que hay recursos un pozo nuevo para asegurar de que estamos recibiendo el agua para su propiedad.
There's a couple things out there.
Hay dos cosas allá afuera que se pueden usar.
In low income households and
En
disadvantaged
clases de bajos recursos
there is funding available.
hay dinero que está disponible que se va a requerir solamente una persona, una entidad no lucrativa o del condado para hacer este programa.
In that,
a lo mejor puede haber una forma
the longer term is there's definitely an interest
todo lo más largo es que hay a nivel estatal donde se puede consolidar temas de agua como personas que están en punto de que no tienen ser parte de ser distritos donde puede tener más
this call,
ah,
there's definitely
tecnología
increased
para ganar agua más allá de lo que necesitan.
it's really necessary to make sure that people
Tiene que
have
estar
water
con el
and
Estado estatal para prestar bien
sometimes
esta
the best option is to bring them into
y a
a
veces
public
que
system.
la opción mejor es ponerles
There's another question for you here from Mary Callahan, who
conectado con la
writes, have there been, I think it goes to your map showing the naturally occurring arsenic, but have there been substantial number of reports of concentrated substances or contamination in private wells because of the dropping aquifer levels?
ha habido reportes de agua, de problemas de agua.
That information comes in slowly, and there isn't really
Solamente
there's not really a good mechanism to
fácil.
get that information other than if
A
somebody
veces hay
happens to taste the well
solamente
and call up one of the
eso que alguien pruebe tu
agencies
agua
that
y reporte lo que
look at those
usaron.
things. Put a link in the
Eso esa información a veces entra despacio.
answers
So él puso
answer
ahí
here.
ciertas
There is a website that the division of
los
water
sitios
the
de
state
gobierno donde
has.
pueden
They're
reportar
now
esa
starting to
información,
collect private well
preguntas,
data and see
respuestas
get that into
acerca
the
de
system so
necesario
they can use it.
para los sistemas que también
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Lawrence asks about, we've heard about reductions in Santa Rosa, about how about the other cities in the county? I can tell you here,
pedimos
it's much the same.
en Santa Rosa.
Trying to
¿Qué más de las
50%
otras ciudades están llegando al
again, last year we were successful,
el año pasado
and
para
we hope to be as successful this year going forward. And
ojalá este año
front of mind in that
éxito?
was why we wanted to have this town hall meeting tonight to make sure
Ah,
everyone was aware of the
tenemos que
situation,
asegurar que
how much water was in the reservoirs or is in the reservoirs, and
cuánta
what
agua,
actions one could take
agua hay
to be aware of how much water they're using and to minimize it.
también de verdad para saber cuánta agua se está
We
usando.
appreciate that.
Vamos a apreciar.
And Susan
La
did
gente
write about how Sonoma County is doing, and we know that other places in the state are not quite doing as well,
estados
reducing their water consumption. But
están
we have
tratando
a closed system here. It's all that much more important for us to stay on top of it
cuánta
to
agua
make
se
sure
está
that we
consumiendo
are
y
as
están haciendo
efficient
bien.
as possible.
Podemos ser lo más eficiente.
Trying to look through the last of the questions to make sure we pull them all out.
Hey, I want to applaud you all. We've been really able to address the bulk of the questions today, and I think we're
La
gonna
mayoría
do material. We just want to tell our audience members that if we did not answer your questions, please feel free. We'll try to get to them, but please feel free to email us at publicaffairs@sonoma-county.org. That's publicaffairs
Condado de Sonoma de Public
@sonoma-county.org.
Affairs,
We'll make sure to get back to you. As
Ana
Supervisor Abbott mentioned, this is just one in a series of live webinar updates that we
vamos a tener también
have
otros
been holding and will continue to hold monthly here concerning drought situations
para hablar de la
into the
situación
fall.
del condado.
So we
Vamos a ver dónde vamos
join us for our next
y
one,
ojalá
which is
que
scheduled
se
for
unan con
Thursday, July
nosotros cada
7th.
año. La siguiente va a ser para
I just
julio.
want to join Supervisor Abbott, thanking all of our panelists,
Quiero darle las gracias
our Spanish interpreter,
y también quiero dar
Juan
gracias
and Elizabeth
Juan.
and Odie, our ASL interpreters. So,
Y
Supervisor Abbott, I'll give it back to you for final thoughts.
intérprete de
I do think that
Yep.
Grant Davis might want to make the last inclusion.
queremos tratar de que tengan la,
Our attendee list, if you can get
la última
to our panelists, that would be great.
el último comentario antes de
Promote Grant to panelists. That may take a couple seconds here, but that would be great to hear from Grant.
I apologize for doing that on the fly.
No, that's great.
Hand raised.
It's
and
like having somebody from the audience come up on stage. It may take a few minutes, but it's worth it.
Director Abbott.
la persona aquí. No lo esperaba.
Appreciate the information that came out today. I am unfortunately suffering from one of our pandemic
De una de las
tested positive just this week. So
Yeah.
I'm housebound and appreciating all of the commentary.
todos los comentarios,
For hosting the town hall,
todos
and the level of questions are clearly
las preguntas.
sparking interest in our region. So just
Ah, me
continue to
interesa.
serve, continue to
Traten
follow the
de
mandates,
conservar,
and get
sigan,
through this. So thank you.
sigan siguiendo los mandatos.
I appreciate that. And thank you to
Gracias, Dan, y gracias
for
a
all the great work, as well as
todos
contract.
el Condado Sonoma del Agua por todo
Santa
el
Rosa.
acento de
I think,
Jennifer.
as we go forward, maybe one idea
Creo que
is to
sí.
have
adelante vamos a tener más ideas o también para hacer preguntas. Ya, para entonces le seguimos a preguntas ya a veces queremos que la información salga, que esté fuera, tenemos que seguir, tenemos que tratar de seguir pensándonos así, de estar mejor y tratar de conservar agua y obviamente tenemos que seguir un nuevo patrón, ¿verdad? De cómo adaptar y cómo tratar de seguir adelante, cumpliendo con nuestras necesidades y cumpliendo con eso y vamos a cerrar a todos, cerrar el webinario. Quiero dar las gracias a todos por estar aquí entonados. Vamos a hablar acerca de dónde estamos y qué más se puede pasar o qué puede hacer para minimizar el uso del agua. Gracias a todos.